Question number 13. Ari left Mombasa for Nairobi on Tuesday at 2:30 a.m. He arrived in Mutito Andei after 3 hours 12 minutes. He stayed in Mutito Andei for 36 hours and then left for Nairobi. It took 5 hours 25 minutes to arrive in Nairobi. Determine the day in the 12-hour system Ari arrived in Nairobi. So what you need to do here, you need to find the total number of hours Ari spent on the journey from Mombasa to Nairobi. So it took 3 hours 12 minutes. So you have you can say hours and minutes. So it took 3 hours 12 minutes from Mombasa to Mutito Andei. Stayed there for 36 hours. So he stayed there for 36 hours. So if you add, you get 2, 1, this is 9, 36 hours, you get 9, that is 39 hours 12 minutes. Then it took 5 hours to 25 minutes to Nairobi. So add, this is plus, this is plus 5 hours 25 minutes from Mutito Andei to Nairobi. So this is 7, 37, 4, this is 4. So it took 44 hours, that's 7 minutes for the whole journey. Now, he had left Mombasa at 2:30 a.m. So if you add 24 hours, that's a whole day, 24 hours, you'll be able to get 3, this is 6, 2, you minus 24 hours, you'll be able to get 2, that is 2:30 a.m. So this means that it's the same as this is on Wednesday, this is on Tuesday. Then because you had taken 44 hours 37 minutes, you subtract 24 hours, you'll be left with 20 hours 37 minutes. So you add 20 hours and 37 minutes. So this will give you 7. This is 0 carry 1. We are adding here. Here we are subtracting. Here we are adding. Then we say 2 plus 1 is 3. And we have 2. 23:07. 23:07. In 12-hour system, you subtract 12 hours of during the day, so you get 7, 0, 1, and 1. So it means that he arrived in Nairobi at around 11:07 not a.m. but p.m. That is at night. That is on Wednesday. Wednesday at 11:07, and that is how you. So here you are being tested whether you understand the 24-hour system, the 12-hour system, and how you convert one from the other. And if you know that, then you should be able to know when you are using 12-hour system. We count 12 hours from of the day, that is from 00 to 12, and then from 12 another 12 hours from 1 to 12 midnight. 24-hour system, we count from midnight to the next midnight. So that's the difference between the 12-hour system and a 24-hour system. You should be conversant with that. Question number 14. The height of a cone is 12 centimeter. A frustrum whose volume is an eighth the volume of the cone is cut off. Determine the height of the frustrum. Okay, in Form 2 you learned similarities and enlargement. So before we do the question, let me demonstrate or use a diagram to explain this. So let's assume this is a cone. So that is a cone, the full cone. Then we are told that the height is 12 centimeters. So we can drop a height there. This is 12 centimeters. It was cut off. So a cone was cut off so that we are left with a frustrum. So let's say this is the same cone, and this is 12, but now it has been cut off. So this is the volume of this frustrum here. This frustrum is an eighth of, so we can say volume is equals to an eighth. Volume is equals to 7/8. So that's the volume. So we can now use the knowledge, this knowledge here. So let's just use this the height of the small cone as h. Now we have the volume of the full cone. So we can use there now. We know the volume scale factor. Volume scale factor is equals to linear scale factor cubed. You learned that. So now if we say that the volume scale factor, let's say the volume of this cone is 1, that is full. You divide by the volume of the small cone, which is 7/8 of its volume, is the same as the height of the big cone. The full cone is 12. You divide by the height of the small cone. Once we get the height of the small cone, then we'll be able to get the height of the frustrum because we know the total height. Now we can say this is actually cubed because now we are using this volume scale factor. Let's correct that. Volume scale factor. So we start with the volume of the big cone, which is 1. You divide by the volume of the small cone, 7/8, is equals to the height of the big cone is 12 divided by the height, and this one you get cubed. So this we can say 1 divided by 8/7 is the same as 1 multiplied by 8/7. So we say 8/7 is equals to 12 over height cubed. So we get the cube root of both sides. We multiply by a third or get the cube root of the both sides. So we say we get the cube root of 8/7 is equals to 12 over height. So we can get h is equals to, we multiply like that. We say it is 12 cross multiply divide by the cube root of 8/7, not 7, but actually 8/7. Here you can use a calculator to simplify that. What you do is you say our height is equals to, so you can press 12, you divide by, you use the inverse. As you know the inverse, you get the cube root. You can use a bracket, and then you say 8 divided by 7. You close the bracket, and that should give you 11.4775871. So to 2 decimal places, it is 11.48 centimeter. That is 2 decimal places. Now we have the height, which is here. Therefore, we can say that is our height. The height of the frustum is x. X is equals to the full height minus 11.48, which you'll be able to get that you get 0.52 that is centimeter to 2 decimal places. So that's how you work out that, and you should be able to get 3 marks. So the knowledge that you are being tested here is what you learned in similarity and enlargement. You learned that area scale factor is equals to linear scale factor squared. A volume scale factor is equals to linear scale factor cubed. And then linear scale factor is equals to maybe the height of the image divided by the height of the object. So that is what you should be able to get to remember that, and then you'll be able to answer this question. Question number 15. Solve the equation 8 to power x plus 1 minus 2 to power 3x minus 1 is equals to 120. So here you are going to apply the knowledge you learned in the topic in indices in form 2. You learned the 3 rows of indices, which you are going to apply maybe one of them or 2 like that. So you say the first row of indices, if I may remind you, we have the first row, we have am multiplied by an is equals to am plus n. The second one is am divided by an is equals to am minus n. A third one is a to power m into bracket to power n is equals to amn. Very important to remember these rows. Coming back to the question, we can write our equation here. 8 x plus 1 minus 2 to power 2 3, that is to power 3x minus 1 is equals to 120. Let's write 2 in terms of 2. So we got 8 is the same as 2 cubed raised to power x plus 1 minus 2 to power 3x minus 1 is equals to 120. This is a 0. Now we can apply the third row of indices here. So we open the bracket and say this is 2, 3 multiplied by x is 3x, 3 multiplied by 1 is 3, minus 2, 3x minus 1 is equals to 120. We can separate this using the first row of indices. So we can read this as 2 to power 3x multiplied by 2 to power 3. We are using the first row of indices minus. We do the same to this 2 raised to power 3x multiplied by 2 raised to power minus a half is equals to 120. Is equals to 120. Now you can see here 2 to power 3x is common, so we can factor it out and say 2 raised to power 3x. You put the bracket, here you will be left to by with the 2 to power 3 minus 2 to power minus 1 is equals to 120. So this is 2 3x, this is 8 minus 2 to power minus a half minus 1 is the same as a half is equals to 120. With that, then what we do is 2 raised to power 3x multiplied by, this is 7.5 is equals to 120. So you divide both sides by 7.5, you will find 2 to power 3x is equals to, when you divide, this will go with that, 120, when you divide 120 with 120 by divide by 7.5, okay, let's do that. 120 divided by 7.5, and that should give you 16. So this should give you 16, which you can write in terms of 2. So you write 2 to power is equals to 2 to power 4. When in indices, when we have a common base, then the index are the same. So this is 3. So 3x is equals to 4. X is equals to 4 divided by 3. That is the answer to that. So here you are being tested whether you know how to apply the knowledge you learned in logarithm indices and logarithms. Specifically, this one is on indices. So you should be able to apply the rules of indices and be able to maneuver your some of the steps you can skip. You can skip to shorten your work and also to save time, but I have tried to go through all the steps elaborated so that you can understand and follow how we have arrived to the answer. Question number 16. A curve is given by y is equals to x cubed minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 12. Part A, find the gradient function of the curve. So part A, when you are given a function, to get the gradient curve, you differentiate. So we get dy over dx is equals to, when you differentiate, you multiply the index with a constant. So 3 times 2 is 6. X, you minus 1 from the index. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Minus 2 times 3, that will give you 6. X to power 1, because you subtract 1 from 2. Then you say minus. Here we assume it is 1. So 1 times 12 is 12. 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything x to power 0 is 1. So that is the gradient function. Part B, determine the equation of this you run in form 4. Determine when you are doing differentiation. Determine the equation of the normal to the curve at the point 1, minus 1 in the form y is equals to mx plus c, where m and c are constant. So first of all, you need to understand what is the normal. If we take a curve like this one, a line that touches a point of the curve, this is called the gradient. Not gradient actually, it is called a tangent. Sorry for that. This is a tangent. A straight line touching the curve at a point. Curve, that's a curve represented by a function. So a line that is perpendicular, a line that is perpendicular to this tangent is what we call the normal. So this is normal. Perpendicular, that they make an angle of 90. Now, when you are learning about the gradient of a straight line, the relationship between two perpendicular lines, the product of, if we call this M1, let's use G1, gradient 1, and gradient of this one. If two lines are perpendicular, the product of their gradient is equals to minus 1. So gradient of line 1 and gradient of 2 should give you minus 1. So that knowledge should be able to help you to solve this. Now, since in part 1 we have gotten the gradient function, we can now come here and say, we are told the gradient at 1 minus 1, gradient of the tangent, which we can call, let's use this, we can call G1 is equals to, we substitute the value of x in this one in our gradient function. So this will be 6. X is 1, so 1 squared is the same as 1. So 6 times 1 is 6, minus 6 multiplied by 1 is 6, minus 12. So 6 minus 6 is 0, minus 12 we get minus 12. So the gradient here is equals to minus 12. So what is the gradient 2? Gradient 2, gradient 2 should be 1 over 12. So because when you multiply 1, that is minus 12, multiplied by 1 over 12, you cancel there, you get minus 1. Minus 1 times minus 1, you get minus 1. So the gradient of the first line, G1, so this is the gradient of the normal. Okay, so that is the gradient of the normal. Now, when you are given the gradient and 1 point, you can be able to find the equation of a line. So what we do, we take the point 1 and minus 1. This is 1 and minus 1. That's the point we assume at the point of contact here. And we take another imaginary point, x and y, and the gradient is, so we have the gradient is 1 over 12. So we say y minus minus 1, that will give you plus 1, divide by x minus 1 should give you 1, that is 1 over 12. 1 over 12. We cross multiply, so we get 12y plus 12 is equals to x minus 1. Take 12 to the other side. We have 12y is equals to x, that will be minus 13. Divide both sides by 13, y is equals to 1 over 12, and divide both sides by 12, x minus 13 divided by 12. So this is now our equation of the normal in the form of y is equals to mx plus c, where m now, which is a gradient, is 1 over 12, and the constant c is 13 over 12. And you should be able to get the 3 marks. So that's how you work out that. You are being tested whether you remember, you know what is the normal, you know how to get the gradient and the relationship of the gradient of two perpendicular lines. So that's what that is what is being tested here. So if you have that, then you should be able to get the 4 marks in this question. And those are things that you need to always remember, that should be at your fingertips. The gradient, the relationship, you should also know the relationship between two parallel lines. Their gradients are equal. That information is very important, or that knowledge is very important, as far as you are going to apply in some of these questions.